Some men have found their wives with, men in their bed, and they took a gun and they shoot the woman, shoot the kids and themselves. This doesn't really solve anything. Every relationship has its own dynamics. There is no way that a man or a woman can just wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to have an affair. You know, and I'm going to sleep with that person and I'm going to hide it. No one decides that. No one, no wife does that. No husband does that. There is a cause. I'm not saying that the person who goes out and have an affair while they're married is right. He is wrong. He deserves all the condemnation that he can get. But to solve the problem of infidelity in marriages, we cannot just say that if he cheats, he goes. If she cheats, she goes. That does not solve. If you were to go back and see, okay, my husband has cheated on me or my wife has cheated on me, and then you can get angry and be overwhelmed by the emotion, but don't make any decision during that overwhelming of the emotion. You can maybe walk out of the home and go home to your mother's house for support, or to a friend, just so that you could let everything sink in, so that you could finally accept that it is real, it happened, but you still have to address it. And to address it is not to say, you know what, you cheated on me, I want you out of the house. No, questions have to be asked. Why? And the best thing would be to ask the person who did it. If it's your husband, ask him, why? Why did you leave my bed, our bed, and go sleep with another woman? And never address the person who is a third person in your marriage. Address the person whom you're married to. Because if you're going to keep fighting women or fighting men, how many men are you going to fight? When you ask him why, you must listen to what he has to say and digest it. Don't say, but you can't do that because of that. No, digest it. Because when we look at, if you were to look at your own relationship or your own marriage, there was no way that in that first 3 months that your husband or your wife could have even thought about another woman or another man. Why? Because everything was good. So the cause will always be that it was good, it went bad. What is the cause? What is the cause of what was good, which made everything which was good to be bad? That the husband and the wife saw the need to go outside of your own home, outside of your own bed, go and find what he was supposed to get from you. So what is the cause? Sometimes even you may be the victim in the relationship, and I'm not saying that the person who went out of their way to go and have an affair is right, or I'm not promoting it and I'm not condoning it, but I'm saying that you could have contributed towards it. I'll give you an example. In terms of women, sometimes women can use their sexuality to try to control a man. So if the woman says that, can you please do this for me? And the man with good reason say, no, we cannot do that. This is what we have to focus on for now. And the woman says, okay. And then now, the woman now may start to deny the husband with sex in order to get what she wants. And what does the Bible say? The Bible says that the man's body belongs to his wife, and the woman's body belongs to her husband. A woman is not allowed by God to use her body or her sexuality to control a man. If you've ever seen a man being dragged by the nose by his wife, she's using the sex. So she's intimidating and threatening him that if you don't do what I want, you're not going to get this and that. So the man, because has no base, has no background in terms of, when you're a Christian, she's not supposed to do that. You can even take her to the pastor or the eldership of your church to say that, because when we don't agree, she uses her sexuality, she uses her body to control me. But when a man does not have a background, what he's going to do now is going to do everything that the woman wants. Even stupid things like, when they're shopping, the woman probably, I'm not saying women will probably just want to buy, but sometimes women can be impulsive and then they just want to buy things which are not necessary. And then the man has to put up with it, because if he can't put up with it, he knows that tonight is going to be cold. So he becomes, and because if the woman can see that this is working, she's going to go now to other things, knowing that now, because I can control him with sex, that means I can get whatever I want from him. And then if a man gets tired of being controlled, the man will want to find a woman who will respect him and submit to him. And the problem is that he's already married, so he's going to get it on the side. So you see, the man is wrong by addressing the problem the way that he's addressing it. But the woman does contribute towards it. So when the woman finds out that the man has went outside and slept with another uh, woman, she's angry. How can he do this? But she's not studying the cause. What could have caused this? And in the very same vein, a man could also have problems. When you turn 30, you have health problems. It's not like the kind of health problems that you're gonna have heart problems or heart disease and stuff. It's just that when you turn 27, your body now is no longer able to to produce the male hormone, and because you don't have the male hormone in your body, you may not even have desire to sleep with your wife. You may have desire in your heart, but the body doesn't want to work, and because of other things like bad nutrition, you end up not having desire for your wife. And when you do have desire, it is only you who gets satisfied. And because you are the one who gets satisfied, she gets angry to a point now she doesn't even want to sleep with you anymore. A woman and a man are different. So if you just get to be satisfied by yourself, she doesn't get satisfied. She doesn't see any need now to copulate with you. She's gonna go outside. You're gonna find out about it and you're angry and then you leave. But you don't understand that if you don't solve your health issues. So marriage is not just about buying food and making sure the kids go to a good school. No, there's also other things, and these other things are mostly between the man and the woman, and this does destroy marriages. It is impossible for someone to look for something that they already have outside. Sometimes maybe you work too much and you work too much. You wake up very early in the morning. When you come back, it's always late. She never gets to talk to you. She never gets to share anything with you. And then someone comes along, a friend, and then they talk. And when they talk, they connect because women want people to listen because they have a lot to say. It doesn't really even have to be anything that you're interested in. You just have to listen. You just have to, learn to enjoy the things that she enjoys. That's how you connect. That's how you become one, because you do things together. But because you're always busy, and then she finds somebody else who's not always busy. And guess what? That person who's paying attention to her may not even be a person who has money or rich or a big car. Just because he's able to perform that small role which you're failing to do, the devil, of course, will always be around them, and then the devil just lays the foundation. Some people do regret, and then but because they enjoyed what they did, and when they go back home, nothing has changed. They go back. That is what caused your wife or your husband to have an affair. So you cannot just rush and say, I want a divorce, or I'm gonna take a gun and I'm gonna shoot this woman and shoot the kids and shoot myself. No, you're gonna have to study. If you find that maybe the cause could have been done away with, then you should consider forgiveness. I don't think that God will be angry at you because you forgave your wife or your husband. Divorce is not good because it affects people, it affects children, and then families get destroyed because of it. So we should try to avoid it. So for me, I'm saying that find the cause. And when you do find the cause, then you will be in the right space to make a decision. Because if you're making a decision out of anger and out of the fact that somebody has cheated on you, then without finding out why would they do that, what drove them to what they did, you're not solving the problem. You could go from one woman to another or one man to another, because this baggage that you have with you always leads to people cheating on you. So you're gonna have to look to the minutest cause of your wife or your husband going out of your marriage bed and cheating on you. And then when you do find it, then you're gonna have to consider fixing it, not leaving. Don't just go for divorce. It should be the last resort, no matter what happened, especially if it's an affair. Don't listen to friends. Think about your family. Think about your kids. Think about everything that you have done together, which was once very, pleasurable towards you and it made you happy. And fight for that. But don't fight for that in ignorance. Look at the real causes. If the man has a problem and then he's willing to go through things to solve the problem, then you can have to consider, forgiving him and working things out. If the woman has problems, because that's what marriage is all about. Marriage is about upbringing, correcting, reforming each other. Because it's easy when I look in the mirror and say that, I'm like this, but if I'm looking in the mirror of the eyes of my wife, my right hand is my right hand. But in the mirror, my right hand is my left hand. So the mirror is lying, but the eyes of a person will always tell you the truth.